Hello, hello, welcome. This is Holding All the Aces. Welcome to today's show. The name is a phrase that means having all the advantages, and this is still the multiple opportunities reinvest earning. There's more place to develop a wealth mindset, learn how to make money work for you and increase your value. I've rebranded so that now, instead of it being a focus on partnering with companies, we've opened it up to where it's more about not just multiple opportunities, not about getting with companies, but also talking about skills, having a better mindset, and overall being able to hold all the aces, be at the top, and be the best we could be. So Oprah's being blamed for not doing more than what she and The Rock and others have done. And to me, they've gone above and beyond, above and beyond. And the story is, if you have not heard, Maui was the unfortunate victim, talking about place in Hawaii. It was the unfortunate victim of a wildfire that destroyed a lot of homes, a lot of property. Some vehicles got damaged. And even though the government, the US government, has pledged a lot of money to be able to help rebuild Maui, and Oprah and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, they've done their part to help out. The residents of Maui are upset that Oprah, The Rock, and other celebrities who have donated to a fund that was created to help out Maui. They're upset but instead of asking the public to donate to the fund they created, they want Oprah, The Rock, and others to ask the Hollywood elite to pitch in instead of regular citizens. So right now I'm having technical issues with StreamYard. Okay. So Maui went through wildfires. The victims are like, hey, even though it's 1 month after the tragedies happened, don't forget about us. And people have not forgotten. Unfortunately, it takes a lot when it comes to these natural disasters. Not making excuses. It's just that, in my experience, the last time I was involved with helping out with Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans, it took a long time to not only raise money and get money to people, but to help them out. So different people are affected in this story on USA Today. There's a Maui native, and she and her family and other people, they've been displaced by the deadly wildfires. They say it's not enough to get food and a place to sleep, but her biggest worry is possibly something she can't control as the national spotlight slowly fades. President Joe Biden, he has pledged $95 million to help rebuild Maui's infrastructure. Celebrities have created the People's Fund of Maui and contributed $10 million to give directly to the residents in need. And the thing about it is, with the government pledging money with the People's Fund of Maui, people have to work those. People have to work for the fund. They got to get paid. And the government, even though they're pledging $95 million, sorry, it's not really guaranteed that all of that's going to be necessarily cash. Some of it may be medical supplies donated. Some of it may be materials to rebuild. It may be construction. It may go towards paying construction workers to rebuild stuff. Everything is not going to go to the average person, which is why when you have a house, you should have homeowners insurance so that if a natural disaster happens like this, they can compensate you for the home you lost, the property you lost, and make sure that you're good to go. And a lot of people are up in arms with the celebrities. They're like, okay, we hear that you have donated money, but the destruction is in the tens of billions of dollars in damage. And Maui County has filed a lawsuit against the utility Hawaiian Electric Company, alleging the company's failure to shut power off despite weather service warnings, which contributed to the catastrophe. The tragedy's aftermath is further compounded as authorities in Maui are near completion of the search and rescue phase. And so it's a very unfortunate situation. It's very sad. A lot of people go to Maui for vacation. So Maui is going to suffer times two, not just the residents taking losses, but also a loss as far as tourism. And, there's also different people that their wildlife insurance claim has been denied. A lot of the insurance companies, they are finding ways to not pay because they're being overwhelmed. You may have heard in Florida, there's insurance companies that they no longer are going to insure houses in Florida because in Florida they have a natural disaster almost every year. And now people who want to live in Florida who are going to have houses that are normally in the way of hurricanes, they can't get their houses covered through insurance. So there's a lot of random acts of God that are hurting people, that different tools that you can pay into no longer want your business. And there's nothing you can do about it. Some property insurance experts saying that they're already getting reports of Maui fire victims being denied home insurance claims because of policy coverage. And, this it's unfortunate. There's really nothing you could do about it. You could say shoulda, woulda, coulda, shouldn't have lived there, should have did this, should have did that. There's nothing you could do. There's nothing you could do. And, it's there's a lot of people that are taking advantage of the residents who've been displaced. You got scams going on down there. It's a whole host of different things. So the reason for this stream is to focus on not the problem, but to focus on the fact that people are blaming Oprah Winfrey for the advantages that she has. And I'm not taking up for Oprah, but it's just that Oprah Winfrey is facing accusations of hiring firefighters to protect her massive estate during the Maui wildfire. And then she started the Maui Fund to help out people, and she's requesting donations for displaced victims from the public. And people are upset that Oprah, who is a net worth billionaire, she's not a cash flow billionaire, she's a net worth billionaire. They're upset that she used the resources that she earned to protect her property. Wouldn't you do the same if you had the resources? Yes, you would. Because a lot of times people are asked to evacuate. But imagine if instead of evacuating, you could hire people to protect your property from fire, from any other type of disaster. You would do it. But people are upset that Oprah can do it, and she did. So her estate is fine. And multiple social media users have posted videos alleging that she hired a private team of firefighters to stave off the flames from damaging her 2,000 plus acres of land. Not to mention, many are still outraged the former talk show host publicly visited shelters where the displaced residents sought refuge after losing their homes. You can't please people. You can't please people because Oprah is doing more than she has to. She doesn't have to do anything. She's going to shelters. She started this fund to help out people. She's asking the public to donate. She's donating money herself. She doesn't have $1 billion in cash. She's giving what she can. And people are just complaining. A lot of people are just going to complain to be complaining. And Oprah, she's one of many people who's holding all the aces. She earned her way. And now that she's playing the game of life with the cards that she has, and everyone has to play the cards they're dealt, she's being blamed for having an advantage. Now I know what you're thinking. Hey, you would be thinking the same thing too if you were in our shoes. Well, the first thing I'd be thinking is, how am I going to bounce back? What are the tools that I can use to take care of myself and get back to where I fell from? Do I have to move? Can I stay? Should I stay? I'd be thinking of what is next for me, not sitting around complaining about something that I could not control, which is the wildfires. And a lot of people, they've lost their jobs, their businesses. They're going to have to move. Their family is going to have to move and relocate. They're going to have to pick up the pieces like people did with Hurricane Katrina and other natural disasters. Because if you want to blame anyone, the person you should be blaming is God. That's really it. Because I mean, there's been people saying that this is a result of climate change. This is a result of this and a result of that. Whatever the reason is for the wildfire starting and spreading, you have no control. And there's a widely shared TikTok video claiming that Oprah hired the team before the fires even started, and that instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people, you hired a private security team to keep them off your land. Let me read that again. Instead of taking some of that land and housing even a small portion of those displaced people. See, that's really what this is. This is the people who are upset with Oprah. They have the mindset of eat the rich. That's really what it is. They feel like because you have things that we don't have, you owe us. You have an obligation to give us your resources. We, the unearned, are owed your resources because we say so. And this is a dangerous mindset. This type of mindset is the same mindset that criminals, thieves, which are criminals as well, and those that want to take from others have. Those that believe that the choices they made that brought them to where they are in life is not necessarily their problem. It's your problem because you have things they could use to pull themselves out of a hole. Because why should Oprah and even people who are rich and wealthy, why should they take some of their land and just give it to people? Why? She hired the private security team before the fire started. She more than likely had already negotiated a plan in place. She hired people, she gave people jobs, gave people work, and she did what she planned to do. Would you have done the same things that Oprah has done to make her billions as far as net worth? Probably not. So that she's done what she had to do to be in that position, and now she's being penalized for working hard, building her empire, and being rich and wealthy. So Winfrey has been a part-time resident of Maui for more than 15 years. Oprah Winfrey having property in Maui and visiting Maui helps out the city more than a lot of other people living there. Her just being there increases the tourism. Excuse me. The video goes on to take aim at shady real estate deals that are targeting displaced residents. Let's just break down that phrase, shady real estate deals. Is it illegal? No. She used the process that was available to her to get what people are saying are pennies on the dollar. Whenever you go to a store and something's on sale, you buy it. The person who is homeless on the street doesn't come to you and blame you for being able to buy clothes dirt cheap that are on sale when you bargain shop. They don't blame you for that. They just live their life. And so the shady real estate deals that are targeting displaced residents, the displaced residents, their homes that have been burnt down, all the areas that have been destroyed, it's going to be pennies on the dollar now because it's deemed worthless unless you have the resources to be able to build it back up. And that's just how it works. Whether it's an area being in decline from crime and people not being able to afford to be there and trashing the community and people uh, committing crimes there and whatnot, or you have a natural disaster, whatever reason, areas that go into decline, people who have the resources usually come in, they rebuild the infrastructure, pennies on the dollar, and they're able to take advantage of the area. They're able to make it better. And that also can be a process associated with gentrification. Are you rebuilding and revitalizing your own neighborhood? Probably not. Most people are not. You don't have to, but you can't sit back and be upset that someone else comes in and does it and increases the property value while they tear down abandoned buildings and clean up the streets, get the graffiti off the walls. You can't be like, oh, well, you're now getting pennies on the dollar, even though you're helping to beautify the area that I've done nothing to help beautify. When you walk outside, do you pick up trash? Not just your trash on the ground that you put there, but other people's trash. Do you clean up the dog poo, or do you walk over it or walk around it? See, there's some people, they walk around stuff. There's some people who are like, you know what? I'm going to come in and help clean up everything in mass and make the area better. So someone says, you're so concerned about Maui that instead of taking what would amount to a year's salary for you and 4 or 5 of your billionaire friends, which could be used to rebuild the entire place in a matter of months, you're jumping on social media and asking the American people, most of whom can't afford to pay their rent right now, to do it for you. Well, here's the thing. And again, I'm not taking up for Oprah. I'm just explaining it, not justifying anything, just explaining it. When these days, when someone is a millionaire or a billionaire or even a 6-figure earner or whatever, most of the time these numbers comes from net worth. So a home, they're called homeowner, but the people who really own the home is the bank or our financial institutions. So someone who has, let's say, $1 million of debt in a mortgage on $1 million home, they're a millionaire as far as on paper, but they probably only have $1,000 in their bank account. So they're a millionaire, a billionaire, and 6-figure earner or whatever, but they really are more of a net worth billionaire or millionaire or whatever. They're not a cash flow billionaire. So Oprah, more than likely, her bank account probably has $70,000 cash, and everything that comes in quickly goes out, and then she invests it. And I'm not taking up for her. I'm just explaining. No one who's a billionaire has $1 billion in cash in an account just sitting there. They just don't have it. But when you think about it, who is responsible for picking up the pieces of a natural disaster like the wildfires that was created by God? Who is responsible for cleaning that up? Maybe the government, maybe the insurance companies, but not people who are rich and wealthy. See, when you have this thinking, it gets to a point where people are going to be thinking, yeah, a year's salary for you and your 4 or 5 billionaire friends would rebuild Maui and would help us out. They're not doing it. People get disgruntled and they say, you know what? I'm going to blame someone else for my misfortune. I'm going to take from someone else so I have something. And now people who are displaced, they're starting to commit crimes against each other because of the negative feelings that someone else should come save me. I should not have to save myself. I'm gonna play this video. Hopefully you'll be able to hear it on your end. StreamYard is weird. If you can't hear it, then I'll just go on and just kind of read the text. Yeah, for some reason it won't let you hear it through StreamYard, so I'll just keep on reading. It's all good. So Winfrey long has been criticized for taking up land and ownership in the tourist hotspot. In the wake of the recent devastation, locals called on her and other notable wealthy people to help with recovery efforts. Along with purchasing items for the displaced, she also partnered with Rock to launch the People's Fund of Maui. The megastars donated $5 million each. So they gave $5 million each. How much were you wanting them to give when you said a year's salary for them? Because if they give up a year's salary, how are they going to pay their own bills? Because it's more than likely they're paying their bills through their year's salary. And this is where people turn their brains off and they focus more on wanting to attack than to think. Because they're giving $5 million each. Do you want them to get $50 million? Because Joe Biden and the government, they're pledging. Let's see how much they're pledging. I saw the number. Yeah, some reason my computer's moving slow, but yeah, I think the government, the United States government, they're pledging a significant amount, and even with pledging a significant amount, it's not really guaranteed that it's going to really make a difference. And the reason being is because repairing infrastructure and so Joe Biden's recent pledge of $95 million. So when it comes to repairing the infrastructure, most of that money is going to go towards paying people who can actually do the work, including the residents who are going to be there. And you got other nonprofits that are chipping in, like the American Red Cross. Everybody's chipping in to help out, but it's just so many people who are affected that you're going to get you should really focus more on saving yourself versus waiting to be saved. So Winfrey said each resident over the age of 18 will receive $1,200 a month for 6 months or until the relief is depleted. And so critics take issue with Oprah asking everyone to donate. If you two don't take your Hollywood elite behinds to your other Hollywood elite friends and politician buddies that got millions like you do, see, like right there, that got millions like you do. They don't have millions in cash. They're net worth millionaires. That's all, not more, nothing less. And then they don't even have to do that. They're doing it to be kind. And this is what makes people not want to help others, is someone or people opening their mouth and saying, okay, you're giving a lot, you're giving way more than I have, but you should give more. You should give more. They could have just give them. They could just give them the money. The donation will be raised. The donation will be to raise money for a corrupt cause, thinly veiled as a good one. All these people who are critics talking down on those who are trying to help out. This is what makes it to where a lot of people don't really want to help, because people are going to say, okay, you're giving a lot, but it's not enough. We want you to give more. And then you give more and they want more than that. And then they basically want everything you have. And then it turns into, there should be a redistribution of wealth. So The Rock traveled to Maui to speak with locals about the heartbreak they are enduring. So The Rock and Oprah, they're going above and beyond. It is what it is. And people are not happy. And the main takeaway for this is that as you increase your individual net worth, increase your cash flow, increase your empire, And as you're successful, people who have less, or people who have made choices that have put them in whatever spot that they're in, they're going to look at what you have, be jealous, be envious, and be upset that you're not doing bad like them. And that's the reason why a lot of people will set you up for failure, commit crimes against you, so on and so forth. And you have to be able to hear what people are saying and understand, okay, you know what? These are not people that I really want to help, because they don't want to help me help them. They want to take from me and blame me for their shortcomings and their bad days and their bad luck. Okay? And it's not really anyone's fault, especially those who are holding all the aces and they earned it. Whatever means they, or whatever way they earned it, they earned it. One day you'll get it, and then people will be blaming you for stuff. So what do you think? That's the video. Let me know in the comment section your thoughts. Thumbs up the video. Please subscribe before you get out of here and click the notification bell. I really appreciate you for supporting and listening, and of course watching. Thanks for watching. Go forth, do great things, and I'm out. Peace.